guys must be frozen because I feel like I'm frozen. Anyways, I'll just chat along with the two great premiers here. We had a very constructive conversation. We appreciate the Trump administration facilitating this literally in the last minute, and we're grateful. We listened, we communicated, and we look forward to further conversations.
Who did you speak with exactly?
I'd rather not disclose that. High-ranking Trump administration.
Is it James Blair, sir? That has been reported already. It'd be great to get a name out there so we can confirm it for the.
Well, I'm not at liberty to say, to be frank with you, but it's a very high-ranking administration.
What is the takeaway?
Did they give you a sense of how Canada can stave off tariffs? What Canadians, what the government, what the premiers can do?
Well, it's a good conversation, back and forth, and it was a very positive conversation. So we'll see how we move forward, and once all their secretaries get sworn in, then we can move forward. But do you have any comments,
Was it just
Sean?
one member of the administration? Just one or several? Can you just give us a sense of where you
Just a couple people.
And I think that's the next things that you can look forward is the Secretary of Commerce will be sworn in. Minister LeBlanc will be working with him, and premiers will be supporting that work and reaching out and doing our own advocacy like we have been the last day or two.
How long was the meeting approximately?
Well, since you saw us walk in to right now.
Okay, we didn't know if you got in right away, so over an hour.
They were very generous, and we're very grateful, by the way.
Yeah, appreciate it.
People don't get last-minute meetings like this, so we're very grateful. And it just shows the relationship that we have and the respect they have in Canada, regarding Canada. And they've said it numerous times, how they respect Canada, and really appreciate the friendship over the years. François, over to you.
Yeah, peut-être en français. Y a-t-il des gens qui sont pour en français? En anglais, in English. We had, like Doug said, we had a good conversation with two people, high level, and we discussed ways to come back with a good relationship between Canada and U.S. and I think we had answers or ways to progress.
Yeah, thank you, everybody. Appreciate it.
President Trump was at the White House today. Were you disappointed?
Okay.
Were you disappointed he didn't pop in, Premier?
Yeah.
What did you talk about?
We had good conversations with the Deputy Chief of Staff, and he's also the head of policy. And as well as Sergio is doing the hiring for a lot of the White House staff, senior White House advisors. I think the dominant impression is that it was a very significant day at the White House, and yet they still sent two senior reps to meet with us. It was a good conversation. I thought it was constructive. There were some very frank moments across the table, and they urged us to take the president at his word. And so we will certainly do that.
Do you feel that the tariffs are coming are inevitable when you say take the president at his word?
Well, when he talks about his concern about the border, about issues of fentanyl, the need for us to work on those things, that we should take that very seriously. That the engagement that he's having is about ensuring that the United States is respected and not taken advantage of in terms of trade and relations around the world, and that we should see things through that lens, and so we shall.
Are any of the things that we're doing moving the needle in any way, like the fentanyl czar, et cetera?
Well, my impression was that there was an understanding that what Canada had done around the border had caught the president's attention, resulted in the pause, but that work needed to continue, and that we should continue to return for these meetings and discussions, especially once the key personnel were confirmed, for us to be able to engage with a little more constructively.
I understand that Canadian premiers are paying $85,000 a month for lobbying here in Washington. Are we getting bang for our buck there? Are these meetings significant enough to pay that kind of money?
Well, I think it's really important that we're in these rooms and we're having these conversations with key personnel. This was a meeting on short notice with senior decision makers in the White House on a day in which the president's actively engaged with Ukraine and Russia, So I was glad for the conversation. I'm glad they made the time, and we'll continue to have this engagement.
Premier, you mentioned frank discussions. What frank aspects did you put forward? Did the premiers put forward? Was there any concerns about Trump's ongoing comments about Canada being the 51st state?
Yeah, we had frank conversations where about the 51st state comment, where we underlined that that was a non-starter. That was obviously consistent among all the premiers, for my part, just underlining how important it was to share information and concerns related to fentanyl on the border with the premiers as well. There are enforcement actions that we can take to make sure that information is flowing. If these are the key points of frustration for the president, we want to take action on those things too.
Premier Eby, I think the public might find it weird that you're not saying who you met with. Was there some sort of agreement that you weren't going to name the officials? Like,
no.
Why can't you just tell us who you met with?
Yeah, no, it's James Blair and Sergio. I forget Sergio's last name. He's the head of personnel for the White House. No, that's all right. Yeah, no, I understand they would find that weird. We knew we were meeting with Mr. Blair. We didn't know we would be meeting with Sergio as well. It was a very fluid moment, and we weren't sure who was going to come in actually.
And did they promise to send your message back to the president? I think there's a lot of questions about whether it's actually getting through to the person who makes the decision.
Yeah, they committed to share our message of willingness to engage and to work on key areas of agreement, and that Canada would never be the 51st state.
One more question.
What happens now? You've had your meeting. Did you pledge to talk again in the future? Are you going to come up with some sort of other kind of security plan to discuss?
Yeah, their key suggestion for us was once their key personnel were confirmed, the Commerce Secretary, Trade Secretary, that will be in a much better position to engage, and that we should continue to meet and come back, especially once that had happened.
Okay.
Thanks very much, everybody.
A lot.
Thank you.